yo, what it do? It's your boy J Lou. You guys are just in time for another video. Today what I want to cover is these brushes right here, CQP. They're made by Crown Quality Product. That's what the CQP stands for. But yeah, I'm gonna jump into how to brush the proper angles with a CQP. So let's get into it. I want to provide you guys with a little bit more of an informative video on the brushes that I use. When I first got into waves, I didn't know anything about brushes. I used to wave when I was in middle school, and all I knew was you brush your hair. I would brush my top straight to the front. I would brush the sides of my hair straight down. And I always wondered, I was like, why do my waves look the way that they do? They never connected. And it's because I didn't know anything about angles. You know, so when I start waving again in last July, I hit my homeboy up. I was like, hey, Brian, I'm about to start waving, bro. What I need to do? He told me to get a brush. Make sure you brush. Most people, when you start off, that's the first piece of advice that wavers tell you. It's the basics, but it really doesn't help you, you know? So I grabbed I went and bought a cheap wave enforcer brush from Walmart. It was a palm. And I was just brushing, and I started seeing some connections. I started seeing some ripples. Really, it wasn't really connections. It was more so just ripples. Start getting waves. After I did that, I hit my homeboy, but I was like, hey, yo, Brian, man, the waves coming in, bro. What do I gotta do? The first brush that I actually got blessed with, which I feel is a waving brush, was this blue medium CQP. This brush right here is also reinforced. So some people say it's like a medium hard. Before I knew anything about Diane's, before I knew anything about Lados, anything like that, I wasn't even on the pages at this time. I got blessed with this brush, and I started going to work it. And my belief is kind of like back in the day when people would go to war. You know what I'm saying? Certain warriors, if they only had spears, they learned how to become masters with their spear. So for me, I only had a CQP. I didn't know anything about the difference between flat brushes and curved brushes. And as you'll notice, with a CQP, one of the reasons why I like it is because it contours to your head. You know, it's a slight bend. So when you place the brush on your head, it actually covers more surface area on your head. You know, so when I start brushing, the first couple of months, I only had maybe 6 angles. You know what I'm saying? So if you're interested in whether CQPs mesh your connections or not, mess your connections up or not, they don't mess your connections up. As long as you know your angles, a CQP is a great brush. I went to the website, got the hard, palm, and I also got premium. This is probably my favorite brush right here. And so I got all the brushes, and those are the only brushes I was using. So I learned how to use my angles. So I'm gonna show you guys and give some tips about how to brush and why CQPs are real great to help you get waves. All right, so to jump into it, first thing you gonna need, like my boy Hurricane Henry always say, you gotta get your handy dandy mirror. You know what I'm saying? I went and got this mirror from a beauty supply store. I think they sell them in Sally's too. But yeah, man, go get you a mirror like this. You need a big mirror because you want to make sure you see all your angles. I'm gonna start off with the medium hard, and basically kind of how my pattern. You'll all notice that the type of pattern that I have is 360s with like a semi-swirl. You know, it's not really a beehive. Some people call it a swirl hive. I'm really trying to convert my crown to a swirl, but I want to maintain my 360s, you know. So I'm taking my time, making sure I get my connections, keep my connections, make sure my crown stays legit. But yeah, so when I first started, the angles that I had, I went this way, I went straight to the top, I went to the left, so there's 3 right there. And then I went to the back, brushed down like that, came right here, brushed down, and then I had to, as you can see on my left side, I slanted the back side, so I would come right here and basically hit this angle. And as you can see, there's 6 main angles. Now, one thing I had to learn with CQP is that when I'm brushing my sides, since this brush contours to your head, when I hit this side of my hair, it's gonna hit the top as well as the bottom. So when I brush, I gotta make sure that my angles don't overlap. Now, the reason why I say that is when I come to this side, I can't start all the way at the back and brush the angle that I want right here. So with a CQP, what I typically do is I'll start midway and brush forward. You know, because I can't start from my crown because I'm already hitting the angles of my hair back there. And when I come right here, or I should do like this so you guys can see. When I come right here, I'm already hitting that angle from my crown. So I'm brushing down like this. So for my side, this little patch right here, I just go halfway and I brush, hit my angle. You know what I'm saying? I do the same thing on the other side. Take my brush, put it on the corner of where my side and my top matches up. I brush that angle from my crown all the way out. Then I hit this bad boy from the back, from my crown area all the way down. And then I go to the same side, start halfway, and brush forward. When I first had a CQP, I didn't always brush like this. I used to take it from the side, from the crown, and go all the way to that side. And I noticed that, you can probably kind of see, I had some forks that kept developing in this area, as well as in this area. So it took me some time. I had to master the tools that I had. So I finally realized that if I started in the front, and shout out to WTBD, that's my squad, you know what I'm saying? That boy Ray and Hurricane really taught me angles and everything like that. So I started brushing, instead of brushing all the way from my crown, I would brush halfway out so that my connections would line up from the top to the sides all the way to the back, as well as not only from the front of my connections, but all the way to my crown, they start connecting. One little tip that I've learned, a lot of times when people brush, what they'll typically do is they start from their crown, and when they brush, they flick their wrist. And that flicking motion tends to cause people to have forks develop like right here on your corners. There's a saying that we say where it say brush through the hairline. You want to brush through the hairline. You don't want to brush like this, because then you're not going to have waves that go all the way to the front. So if you brush through the hairline, but you keep that arm straight, you know what I'm saying? An angle is a straight direction. When you start curving your angles, then you start overlapping. Basically, a fork is anytime you overlap your angles. So with a CQP, because it covers more of your hair, some people try to tell me, oh man, a CQP doesn't cover that much of your hair. This right here is a Running Wild Boar medium brush. Once I got this, I realized, I was like, a lot of people say that CQPs don't cover your hair as much. A Diane will cover more of your hair, but you take a flat brush, and if you put it to your hair, only a little bit of the brush you'll see is on your head. But with a CQP, when you take that same brush and put it on the same angle, it covers more of your head. You know what I'm saying? It contours to your head. So with me, I only had 6, like I just showed you, I only had 6 angles that I was brushing. When I find my angles, it's only 6. Now, if I have a flat brush, I typically have to brush way more angles. With a CQP, the angle should follow the middle part of the brush. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm brushing an angle right here, basically tracing this line right here, I don't want to brush with this part of the brush. I want the middle of the brush to be brushing that angle. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't do that, then if you have it right here and you get lazy with the brush down, you start brushing, you start overlapping the angles that are already down. That's one big thing with CQPs. I follow my angles in the middle of the brush. With long handles, I don't brush like this. I feel like I'm brushing weak. I'm really not attacking my angles and everything the way I want to. I always grab it from the bottom. And when you brush your hair, you have to be consistent, especially as a beginner. I brush my long handles as if they were palms. But the reason why I like the long handles is, as you'll see, this one is not as pointy at the top because it's a Caesar, or some people say Kaiser or whatever. This is more of a crown brush. So if I try to take the palm and brush my crown, it really won't benefit me because I can't get as close to my crown as possible. But if I take the crown CQP version, it's a little bit more pointy, so basically I can get close as possible to my crown and brush the way I need to. Sometimes I can also manipulate it and get even closer. It's kind of hard. I'm trying to get the right angle within this mirror. I can get like right in my crown area and hit the angle that I need to brush my crown. That's another tip. So it's real good not to only have the palm CQPs, But if you want to work on your crown, getting the long handles really helps you with it. The next thing I kind of want to talk about, one of the big issues that people have with CQPs is they say that they crack when you put them in water. Now, I'm an engineer, you know what I'm saying? Like, I went to school for civil engineering, I studied material and all that stuff like that. Anytime you put wood in water, it gives it a greater chance of crack, especially if that water is hot, because what heat does, heat expands anything that it goes into. If you want to clean a CQP, this is just a side tip, always use ice cold water. You know what I'm saying? Just because of the simple fact that the cold doesn't expand the wood, and if it doesn't do that, then it doesn't expand and shrink. Expand and shrink, you know what I'm saying? If it start doing that, then that's how you're gonna crack a CQP. Once you buy these brushes, it gives you a page to read of how to take care of it, how to brush with it, you know what I'm saying? No other brush that I bought is giving you instructions on how to get waves. That's the reason why I love these brushes, man. A lot of people hate on them, but at the end of the day, take a look at my waves, man. The proof is in the pudding. Always connected all the way through. You know what I'm saying? I'm still working on the back, still working on my crown. Yeah, man, my connections are there. I'm out here grinding with WTVD Entertainment, you know what I'm saying? Hurricane just won May Wave King. Ray is known as the June Wave King. And since my first year is going to be up in July, I'm running for the July Wave King, you know what I'm saying? So July is July 4th. And when I win the crown, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be July 4th celebration. So I appreciate everybody for watching these videos. Like I said, if you need anything clarified, just ask me. I'll try to make a more detailed video on it. But it's your boy J. Lou. I'm about to sign out. Peace.